wrestling fans. My name is Brian Crazy. You're watching my brand, the F and brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com and the World Wide Web since 2010, providing you with the wrestling news, reviews, rumors, and insight that you've grown accustomed to. And you saw the title of this video. I am back with my TNA Impact Wrestling review for October 18, 2012. It was a pretty good night on Impact. It was the first episode of Impact since the Bound for Glory pay-per-view and featured the fallout from that event. At Bound for Glory, 4 titles changed hands, and we got to find out at least who one of the members of the Aces and Eights were. This is after earlier in the night, or earlier in the day, I should say, one of the members of the Aces and Eights who used to compete in WWE as Ryan Braddock, Jay Bradley, tweeted a picture saying it's almost time. Now, this threw everybody off. At the pay-per-view, we found out that Devon was a member of the Aces and Eights, and the Aces and Eights won that critical match, the match that gave them free access to the Impact Zone. There was a match at Bound for Glory with a caveat. If the Aces and Eights picked up the win over Sting and Bully Ray, they would be granted free access. Security could not stop them, and that was the case tonight. When the Aces and Eights arrived at the Impact Zone, security had to stand idle. They could not do anything, and they had to allow the Aces and Eights in the building. 6 members of the Aces and Eights, alongside Devon, made their way through the Impact Zone, down to the ring, down to the ringside area, and Devon starts to cut a promo. This is when the vice president of the Aces and Eights, the big guy who has been using the voice distortion for the last few weeks to communicate with Hollywood Hogan, the fans, this, that, or the other, toasts Devon. He celebrates him being part of the group, and you can tell Devon is now wearing a patch saying he's the Sergeant at Arms. A Sergeant at Arms is an officer who's appointed by a group or organization to help keep order. Now, Devon starts to cut a promo, talking about how he was betrayed, this, that, or the other, and how the Aces and Eights embraced him and he embraced them. And it's perfect. TNA threw us off, and I absolutely love how they did this. None of us even knew what was going to happen. They totally threw us for a loop. They used social media and misinformation just to throw us off. Now, the real-life situation was Devon was re-signed to a contract, and now he's playing a role as one of the members of the Aces and Eights. But what they told us fans was, well, we all know that Devon and Bully Ray were a package deal. That's a real-life situation. Bully Ray renewed his contract for 2 years. We thought Devon's contract was over. He was even tweeting pictures of himself and his kids, with his kids wearing WWE merchandise, and they even had him relinquish the television title. And then when Hulk Hogan mentioned him on television, I was really wondering what was going on here. I was really curious what was going on, and I really figured, if he left the company, TNA does things a little bit differently. If it was WWE, more than likely he wouldn't have been mentioned on television again. But the fact of it all was he wasn't under contract this whole time. But they're making it seem that by leaving the company, and he was bitter, and, they broke down negotiations, stripped him his title, this, that, or the other. He was bitter about this whole thing. Aces and Eights embraced him, and he embraced them. So he cuts this promo, and then out comes members of the established TNA locker room. A brawl ensues, and then out comes Hollywood Hulk Hogan, carrying the Equalizer Sting's baseball bat that he's been carrying for the last few weeks. And the Aces and Eights want no part of this situation anymore. They try to leave the ringside area, and Hulk Hogan grabs a mic, and he says, hey, you guys might have free access, but if you're going to be in the Impact Zone, you're going to fight, and Devon's going to face Sting. Now, you can tell Bully Ray really took exception to this. Bully Ray really wanted to face his brother and his former tag team partner, but at the end of the day, Hulk Hogan's most trusted advisor, his most trusted man, his most trusted right-hand man, I should say, is the Icon Sting. Then we go into the first match of the night. Samoa Joe ends up picking up the win over Robbie E after he hits the Muscle Buster and the Coquina Clutch. Post-match, even during the match, Robbie T was trying to get involved, but post-match he tries to attack Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe ends up blocking him in the Coquina Clutch to end this segment. It was a quick match, but it really cemented Samoa Joe as just a brawler. I mean, absolutely brutal. Just a great champion, and a champion that, you can really enjoy to see. When he comes into the ring, it's going to be all business, no BS, no frills. He's going to get the job done, 1, 2, 3, or make him tap out. Then we go into Knockouts action, ODB versus Tara. Tara's the new Knockouts champion after the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. And we also found out that her huge Hollywood boyfriend is Jesse Goddard, who's known as Mr. Spectacular. He was on a show called Big Brother. Not really a A-list celebrity, but pretty well-known guy nonetheless. And during this match, she is so, smitten with Jesse Goddard, she's not even really paying attention to what's going on. ODB ends up picking up the win over Tara. Then we go into Chavo and Hernandez versus Kid Cash and Gunner. I'm really glad that Kid Cash and Gunner were featured on television. Kid Cash is a phenomenal athlete. I've always been a huge fan of his work, and I really like that they were featured. I would like if they were featured a little more prominently, because at this point in time, they're really just being used as kind of like enhancement talent. They're just putting over other talents. Kid Cash is pretty far along in his career, but Gunner is an incredible talent. Now, I understand what they're doing by pairing him with Kid Cash. They're hoping that some of Kid Cash rubs off on Gunner. I understand what they're doing, and it makes perfect sense. Chavo and Hernandez end up picking up the win, and I think the whole purpose of this match was really just to cement Chavo and Hernandez as, not only the tag team champions, but one of the top tag teams in TNA today. Then we go into an in-ring segment with Jeff Hardy. It is the Jeff Hardy celebration for him becoming the new World's Heavyweight Champion. He has a custom World's Heavyweight title. Looks very similar to the current TNA World title, and with the Immortal belt mixed in a little bit. It features Jeff Hardy's face just like the Immortal title did. I was actually fortunate enough to hold the Immortal title and meet Jeff Hardy inside the center of a TNA wrestling ring, and it was a pretty neat belt, I do have to say. Television really didn't do it justice. I mean, this belt up close was incredibly detailed, and you could tell the one that he was out there with tonight was incredibly detailed. Austin Aries ends up cutting an incredible heel promo, really let Austin Aries carry this, and I like how they're doing this. They're really putting Austin Aries over in this feud. He may be a heel, but he's doing some of the best work of his career as a heel. And, basically ends up spitting on Jeff Hardy's custom title. Little brawl ensues. Austin Aries ends up retreating back up the ramp, setting up for a future rematch between the new World's Heavyweight Champion and the former World's Heavyweight Champion. Then we go into a three-way match. Kurt Angle versus Daniels and AJ Styles. Now, you could tell there was a little animosity going into this match between the tag team partners, AJ Styles and Kurt Angle. And you could tell even after the match, they shook hands, but they still looked a little aggravated. Kurt Angle ended up picking up the win over Daniels and Styles. Then we see Joey Ryan and Matt Morgan backstage with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, congratulates Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan introduces himself. Everything's, copacetic and cool there. But Matt Morgan and Hulk Hogan don't have a very friendly conversation. And Hulk Hogan, throws some insults this way, saying the creative team doesn't believe in you, this, that, or the other. I'm the guy that stood up for you, and this is what you did to me, this, that, or the other. And Morgan got right up in his face. And, you really saw this fire lit inside Matt Morgan. As he walks away, Hogan looked a little afraid at first, but then this evil, maniacal laugh comes out. And I absolutely love it, because Hogan knew exactly what he did. He lit that fire inside Matt Morgan. I think it was a great backstage segment, and I really like how it played off. Then we go into an in-ring segment between Bobby Roode and James Storm. James Storm comes out, the It Factor of professional wrestling, Bobby Roode, they're both former World's Heavyweight Champions. And you know what? The way this promo started off, it looked like Bobby Roode was almost trying to make peace. Then, James Storm said a couple things, and I don't know if Bobby Roode just said F it, or the whole time he was going out there planning on, just continuing this feud, but he started throwing zingers right back. And this ends up breaking down between these two superstars, setting up a future match between the two. Then we go into the main event of the night, Sting versus Devon. Sting had this match won. He had Devon locked in the Scorpion Deathlock when members of the Aces and Eights stable come out to attack Sting. Wrestlers make the save, and then everybody's brawling back and forth. But noticeably absent from this brawl is Bully Ray. Now, we know Bully Ray was a little upset by the actions of earlier in the night. He really wanted to face his former tag team partner and his K-Fab brother, Devon, and that wasn't allowed. Hulk Hogan turned to his right-hand man, Sting, to get the job done. Now, Bully Ray was a little late, but he did show up. Did he show up because he's starting to favor the Aces and Eights? Did he show up late just because he showed up late? Did he show up late because he contemplated what was the right thing to do, and at the end of the day, he still wanted to be the good guy? Or am I just thinking too much into this? I want to know your guys' thoughts. I want to know your guys' opinions, and I want you to drop your comments below. I thought it was a pretty good night of Impact Wrestling, and I want you to give me your feedback. I gave you my thoughts. Now I want your feedback for the effing brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com and the World Wide Web. My name is Brian Crazy. I'll catch you later.